This antique is causing issues.
Issues? It's been here for years.
I've lived in Oakview Meadows for nearly 20 years, a quiet slice of suburban America with cul-de-sacs, maple trees lining the streets, and neighbors who wave even if they barely know you. Not perfect, but pretty close. When my wife, Linda, and I moved in, Oakview Meadows was the kind of place where kids rode their bikes freely, the ice cream truck made rounds every Sunday, and the HOA only intervened if someone left Christmas lights up until April. The rules were reasonable. The fees were manageable. Life was good. But everything changed the year Carol Summers became HOA president. You know the type, crisp polo shirts, sunglasses perched on her head, a walkie-talkie for no reason, and a personality powered entirely by caffeine and control. She wasn't elected, she seized the role when the former president moved away, and somehow she talked the board into letting her, temporarily, lead. Temporary turned into permanent real fast. And this past spring, she decided she needed a new mission, my classic car. My 1968 Mustang Fastback is my pride and joy. Forest green, chrome trim, roaring engine, the kind of car you feel in your chest when it starts, the kind that makes strangers stop and stare. I'd inherited it from my dad. Working on that car every weekend was one of the only things keeping me sane during a stressful year at work. It was more than a vehicle, it was therapy, legacy, and happiness all in one rumbling machine. Everyone in the neighborhood loved it. Well, almost everyone. One afternoon, I was polishing the hood when I heard heels clicking down the driveway. I didn't have to turn around to know who it was. "Tom," Carol said, crossing her arms. "We need to talk." "Oh boy. What's up, Carol?" I asked, wiping a spot near the headlight. She raised an eyebrow. "This vehicle, this antique, is causing issues." I blinked. "Issues? It's been here for years." "Exactly," she replied briskly. "And the HOA is tightening aesthetic standards. Older vehicles must be housed in garages or removed from the property entirely." I paused. "Removed from the property? It's not a junk car, it's a classic." She made a face. "Classic is subjective. This, relic, lowers community visual value." I couldn't believe what she said next. "Starting next month, any vehicle over 20 years old will incur a daily non-compliance fee if kept in public view." I stood up straight. "Carol, my garage is full, I convert engines in there. And this car is fully restored, licensed, and insured. It's not a project car." She shrugged. "Not my problem. Rules are rules." I felt my jaw tighten. That's when I knew I had to fight back. The next morning, I found an envelope taped to my door. "Notice of violation, vehicle does not meet community visual guidelines." Below it, a $250 fine. My wife was furious. "She can't do this." Linda snapped. "The car's in perfect condition." "I know," I said. "But she's trying to make it seem like it's an eyesore." "And the rule change?" she asked. "It wasn't voted on." "She's bluffing." But Carol was crafty. That evening, she walked door to door handing out pamphlets titled "Operation Beautify Oakview, Upgrading Community Standards." And inside? A rule proposal that specifically banned old or outdated automobiles that disrupt uniformity. I wasn't stupid, she was targeting me. Neighbors buzzed with confusion. "Tom, I love your Mustang," one said. "Why is she after your car?" another whispered. Carol smiled sweetly at each of them, hiding her claws behind a fake friendly facade. I tried reasoning with her once more. "Carol, this is personal," I said. She stood straighter. "No. This is about improvement. Progress. A neighborhood is only as strong as its weakest visual element. So my car is the weakest element?" I asked. She didn't blink. It is now. That was it. I spent the next week talking to my neighbors. Do you think my car ruins the neighborhood? Every person said no. Some even said Carol's behavior was ruining it more than anything else. Then something interesting happened. 3 different neighbors quietly confessed. She fined me for my basketball hoop. She told my husband his truck was too loud. She tried to ban porch plants because they weren't uniform. Carol wasn't just after me. She was on a power trip. That's when the idea hit me, loud, sudden, brilliant. If she hated classic cars, what if I brought dozens of them? I reached out to the Illinois Classic Auto Club online. It was a long shot, but I posted. HOA trying to ban my '68 Mustang. Anyone up for a friendly neighborhood classic car rally? Within an hour, replies poured in. Absolutely. Say when. We live for this kind of petty justice. By the next day, I had 47 classic car owners interested. Linda walked into the room just as I finalized the event. What did you do? She asked. I grinned. I might have organized the largest unofficial car show Oakview Meadows has ever seen. Saturday morning rolled around. Sunny. Clear skies. Perfect car show weather. I woke up early and made coffee, nerves buzzing in my chest. Then, around 9 a.m., I heard it, the low rumble of engines. One, then another, then dozens. I stepped outside. And my jaw dropped. A line of classic cars, Mustangs, Camaros, Corvettes, GTOs, Chevelles, even a mint 57 Thunderbird, filled the street in both directions. Neighbors hurried out with phones in hand. Kids cheered. Dogs barked. Older residents wiped nostalgic tears. It was beautiful. At the center of the street stood a handmade sign. Oakview Meadows Pop-Up Classic Car Rally, Community Event. I couldn't stop smiling. That's when Carol stormed out of her house, red-faced, hair bouncing, clipboard ready like a weapon. What is going on here? She shrieked. One of the Mustang owners tilted his sunglasses. Morning. We're here for Tom's rally. This is unauthorized. Carol yelled. You're all violating community traffic rules. Someone laughed. A man polishing his Camaro said, Lady, it's a public road. Carol sputtered, I'll call the police. Please do, another owner said. We'll make sure to mention your attempts to ban legally registered vehicles. Neighbors snickered. I stepped forward. Carol, this is a peaceful gathering. A community event promoting unity. Isn't that what you always talk about? Her eyes narrowed. You're mocking me. No, I said, smiling kindly. We're showing you that beauty isn't uniformity. It's individuality. History. Nostalgia. Community. She jabbed her clipboard at me. This ends now. Before she could say another word, a police SUV pulled up. She puffed up like a peacock, until the officer stepped out and said. Relax, Carol. We got several calls about a car meet, but everything looks legal. No violations here. Carol stared at him, aghast. But the HOA. The HOA doesn't control public streets, he said. I almost felt bad for her. Almost. By noon, the event had turned into a full-blown neighborhood festival. Someone set up speakers. Another grilled burgers for everyone. Families picnicked on lawns while admiring the cars. The energy was electric. But the turning point came when 3 board members approached me. Tom, Mr. Harrington said, clearing his throat, we need to talk about Carol. Let me guess, I said. She's gone too far. All 3 nodded. She never brought the rule changes to a vote. She issued several fines without approval. And she's been using HOA funds for personal refreshments. I raised an eyebrow. Refreshments? Daily premium coffee deliveries, one whispered. I tried not to laugh. So what now? I asked. We want your help, Mr. Harrington said. We're calling an emergency meeting tonight. With majority vote, we can remove her. Why me? I asked. You have the community behind you, he said. And frankly, you stood up to her more than anyone. I took a deep breath. All right. I'm in. That evening, the event wrapped up around 6 p.m. People were still smiling as they headed home, buzzing about the unexpected rally. When 7 p.m. rolled around, I entered the HOA clubhouse. It felt like walking into a courtroom. Carol sat at the front table, arms crossed, lips pursed like she'd eaten a lemon. The board took their seats. Neighbors filled every chair, whispering. I stood at the center. Carol glared. If this meeting is about the stunt today. It's about everything, Mr. Harrington interrupted. Carol, we've reviewed your conduct. You've issued unapproved fines, attempted to change policies without votes, used HOA funds for personal purchases, and targeted individual residents. Carol scoffed. I improved this neighborhood. I brought order. You brought chaos, another board member said. I stepped forward. Carol, I tried to resolve this peacefully, I said. But you crossed the line when you made up rules, bullied people, and acted like you owned the place. She snapped, I had every right. No, I said firmly. You had responsibilities, not rights. Her jaw locked. Mr. Harrington raised a sheet of paper. This is a motion to remove you as HOA president effective immediately. Gasps filled the room. And replace you with an interim committee until elections next month. Carol stood, fists shaking. You can't do this. It's already been put to vote, Mr. Harrington said. All board members except you signed. I looked around. Every board member nodded. Carol looked defeated. She gathered her things, slammed her clipboard onto the table, and stormed out. The door closed behind her. Relief washed over the room like a warm breeze. In the weeks that followed, everything changed. The HOA reversed every unfair fine Carol had issued. The so-called vehicle aesthetic rule vanished entirely. Neighbors walked up to me with smiles. You saved the neighborhood, Tom. That car rally was legendary. Thanks for standing up to her. Even the new interim board asked me to assist in drafting reasonable, community-friendly guidelines. I agreed, on one condition. Individuality must be respected. They nodded. And of course, every Sunday now, Oakview Meadows hosts something new. Classic Sundays. A relaxed car meet where residents stroll, admire each other's vehicles, and enjoy ice-cold lemonade. My Mustang. Front and center every week. And as for Carol, rumor has it she moved to a different neighborhood, one with no HOA. Maybe she finally learned to live without a clipboard. Sometimes, power attracts the wrong people. People who think leadership means control, not service. People who mistake rules for weapons. People who forget that a community is made of neighbors, not subjects. What I learned is simple. When someone tries to take away your freedom, your passion, or your happiness, you don't back down. You stand up. You stay calm. And you fight smart. Because in the end, justice isn't loud. It's steady. And when it arrives, it shines brighter than a freshly polished Mustang under the summer sun.